All right, let's get into the conversation. 061 410 is our WhatsApp line. You can send through a WhatsApp voice note. If you have a pending issue, outstanding matter with SARS, our next guest is well placed to help you navigate this. How do you actually tackle a letter of demand from SARS? Do you have any recourse when they come to you and say that, Bafuni Malzabo, what can you do in that regard? And my guest is the Chief Operating Officer at Latita Africa, and she'll tell us more about what Latita does. Razael Manikus joins us. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming through, especially on this cold day. So is it Latita Africa?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, what do you guys do?
We are a tax legal specialist firm.
Mm-hmm.
We assist people in large tax debt.
Okay.
And, anything in terms of disputes, objections, compromises. That's what Latita does.
Large tax debts. Okay, so I would not come to you because I don't fall into that tax bracket. I mean, at most, I probably owe SARS R5. That's it.
Well, it depends. We help everybody.
Okay.
But our speciality is doing the large tax debt, which is not what many firms do.
Mm-hmm.
So we do help every single person, whether your debt is, small or large, but our actual speciality is the large tax debt.
Okay. I mean, let's look at, it's an interesting relationship with SARS. I remember when I sort of started out as a young model, we had a very good finance department at the agency, and she drummed it in me. Don't lie to SARS, ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Don't lie to SARS. But a lot of people want to sort of get away with, just pushing things around at SARS, thinking that they can dupe SARS.
Yeah, a lot of people do, but it's not really possible in a large, scale of things. SARS has got access to your IRP5s because the company is going to be doing their taxes correctly.
Yeah.
SARS has got access to a whole lot of things that you may think they don't, but they actually do. So there's no point in lying to them because they will give you the bank statement you didn't think that they knew you had.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I think that's the part where we often forget is just how easy it is for them to access your personal financial information.
Absolutely.
It's almost a courtesy that they let you file your own taxes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's crazy. Even when they do receive the IRP5, for example, and with the medical certificate from, whichever medical aid you're on, there's still some things that you have paid. Medical expenses out of pocket that you would put in. So they are very courteous in saying, show us what other money you have spent and what other money you have received, and then let's see what your taxes look like after that.
Yeah, let's balance the books.
Exactly.
Together. But
Exactly.
Kahle, we don't need you to begin with. Okay, so if you find yourself, maybe before we even get if you find yourself, what are the ways in which maybe people are not aware that could get them into trouble with SARS? Because sometimes we're not enlightened and you think, oh, I did it last year, I did it for the past 3 years, and SARS didn't say anything, so it's probably okay.
I think the biggest thing is to file your taxes. Firstly, like you said, be honest with them. So if you are getting money from a side hustle and you're working for an organization, tell them that. If you are spending more money than just the medical aid, tell them that. You don't know, you may be getting a refund from SARS. So you could be on the other side and saying, wow, I received a refund, you didn't even know.
True. Very true. And actually, that's good advice. A lot of tax practitioners will tell you, I keep a shoebox. I've kept it my entire life. I keep a shoebox, every end of February, I just drop it off at my tax lady's office. I'm like, you sort it out. I don't even bother because to your point, as a freelancer, for instance, I don't even know what's what that I can claim for. And because SARS regulations and tax regulations change so much. What I could claim for 10 years ago, I can't claim for now.
Yes.
So let the professional be the one who weeds through it. 9 out of 10, she says to me, give me your bank statements as well because you're running a bit short here and there.
Yes, and I think that's very important. A lot of people don't really understand the processes. And coming back to the large the large tax debts.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what remedies there are. And that is why it's important, take your shoebox, take it to your bookkeeper, take it to your accountant, let them sort it out and let them figure out, what's best for you, what you can claim, what you can't claim, rather than saying, I'm going to do it myself, I'm going to disagree here, I'm going to agree here, and then you put yourself into a situation that you didn't need to be in.
Yeah. Now, Razael, a lot of people do exactly what you've just described. They do it themselves. Some people are really great at doing their own tax returns.
Yes.
I just don't want to deal with SARS, period. So I'd rather pay someone to do it. But then some people get themselves into a pickle, and then you find you owe SARS.
Yes.
And SARS is not forgiving when you owe them, especially if you're not being upfront. Or maybe that's just the sort of experience people have shared with me, how unforgiving SARS is to them. But is there a way to sort of go to SARS and communicate with them before they come to you with that letter of demand?
Absolutely. And you can even do it after you receive the letter of demand, provided you are within that 10-day window. So you can say to SARS, hey, I didn't know, I just received this. Please, can we just pause? I'm requesting for suspension of payment. A lot of people that just don't know about SARS, don't know that remedy exists. Or if it's really, really, really large and you can't, you can say to SARS, can I please pay you off? A lot of people don't know you can do that. SARS is unforgiving when they've come to you over and over and over and over again. But if you're the one coming to them and say, look, I realized I owe you, I made a mistake. Is there a way that we can meet each other halfway? SARS is actually quite reasonable. Because remember, they just want to receive their money. They've got a mandate to receive money, and that's what they want to do. They're not going to say, no, we want to hear nothing, and then you sitting, but I can't afford to pay you. So SARS will definitely come meet you halfway and say, yes, let's see where we can meet each other halfway. What's good for you? What's good for me?
Absolutely. Okay. I want to get our listeners involved here. And someone said to ask you, oh, okay. I don't know if this falls into the realm, but I'll ask it anyway. To ask you if is it Akani made changes to pensions without asking us as members. They introduced a funeral scheme called Neighbors. Okay, this doesn't seem, it seems more pension related. Let's go to voice notes.
Hi, Bridget. I just want to find out from your guest, can SARS just take your money from your bank account without your permission if you owe them?
That's a very, very interesting question. We get that a lot. And the short answer is yes. SARS can go to your workplace and garnish your salary. SARS can take money from your bank account. SARS can attach your assets. They don't need permission. They don't need a court's judgment. And then if it's like really severe, SARS can go to the court and get a judgment against you. So, the very long answer to the question is yes.
What leads to that? What leads to SARS going directly into your finances? Because something's got to have not happened from your side.
Correct. It's you not responding to SARS. SARS has been emailing you, not WhatsApping you, they're SMSing you, calling you, and you're just not responding. And SARS is like, this person is a delinquent. They're not interested in talking to us. However, we believe they owe us. Therefore, we are going to take the money. So SARS gets there when you're just not responding.
Okay. Is there recourse to that situation?
I want to say yes and no, but most of the time it's no, because once SARS is taking money from you, it means it's gone really, really, really far. Unless you have a specialist that can say to SARS, yes, we understand the person hasn't reached out to you for these particular reasons. Please, can you just give us time to work through everything, and then we'll come back to you. And 9 out of 10 times, SARS will say, yes, that's fine.
But they're not putting the money that they took from your bank back.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Once they've taken it, it is gone. Say goodbye.
Well, you heard it. Let's go to the next voice note.
Dear Bridget, impeccable timing for me on that topic. I received my automatic assessment from SARS. Apparently, I owe them 145 rands. But to my irony,
rands or thousands?
they have kept 26,000 rands as a carryover to the next year. That cannot be right. Actually, I need that money to be paid out. The challenge is I don't even know on the system where to press. If you call their number, you wait until you lose patience. And then if you go to their offices, again, they will send you from poller to post. Thank you.
Impeccable timing. I presume you meant to say 146,000, not rands.
So with this, it's important to have a tax practitioner.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it's for this, because you don't know where to press, you don't know what should be carried over, what should not be carried over. Somebody that's got the expertise can say, this was incorrect, this was incorrect, this was correct, this can be moved here, that can be shifted here. Remember, an auto assessment is just based on the figure SARS has. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct. That is why it's important for you to actually log into your e-filing or have your tax practitioner log into your e-filing and check those auto assessments. It doesn't mean because SARS auto assess you that it's now done and dusted and we're going to move with this. You can correct that and you can say, no, SARS, actually you got this wrong, or you did not think about these expenses that I incurred. So it's very important to log in and look at that e-filing, go to a specialist and say, guys, this is something very wrong. I don't owe 145. And if I do, how did I get there? So that you don't get into this mess, again.
Yeah. And actually, I find a lot of the time tax consultants aren't really exorbitantly charged. Like, and unless you're going to interesting firms, but a lot of firms offer these services for minimal.
Yes.
And you'll find if you're fortunate to be getting your rebate, you just paid off from your rebate anyway.
Exactly.
So go to a tax practitioner. I want to sneak in one more before we get into the news headlines. But have we gone through some of the voice notes? See that the ladies at the back are busy doing other things. Okay. Someone says, are there tax benefits in investing in unit trusts?
Yes, there can be.
Okay.
But you also need to know how to navigate that correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Short answer.
Yes.
That is your short answer. All right. So, you heard, bottom line is if you find yourself in a predicament, you've got to approach SARS. Don't ignore it. We know that when we're in trouble, a lot of times we ignore it. Just quick one. If there is a dispute, Razael, what happens in that situation?
A dispute in what sense? Like you say to SARS, I don't agree with what you said.
And they say, no, we are still gung-ho on saying that it is this way.
So remember, the burden of proof is on you. If you have a dispute, you need to prove why you're disputing, and then you got to have all the supporting documents to substantiate the dispute. And once SARS sees all of those supporting documents, then they're ready to have a conversation. But it's not enough just to say, no, I don't owe you that money, remove it. SARS is going to say, on what basis? So you need to have all the supporting documents in the way SARS wants you to have them, all your schedules and all of those things in order, and then you've got a very good grounds to dispute.
Awesome. I did warn you guys about sending through the voice notes in the final moments of the show because now we've reached 2:30. And unfortunately, we have to wrap it up there with our guest today. But LatitaAfrica.com is their website. So if you are in the high stakes bracket, any bracket, she says, then you guys may be able to utilize their services. That was the Chief Operating Officer at Latita Africa, Razael Manikus, joining us in studio. It's just gone 2:30. It's time for us to get into the headline news.